of Going All In, Get the Edge You Need to Succeed. I'm Dr. Erin McKinley, and today we have another awesome spotlight session with Michelle Sagristano and Sunitha Zachariah from the Morrison Healthcare Dietetic Internship based in Sandy Springs, Georgia. Check it out. All right, well, welcome to the podcast. To get us started, I would love for each of you to give us an introduction to you, your journey to RD, and how you landed with Morrison Healthcare.
Okay. Thank you, Erin, for having us. And I am Sunitha Zachariah, and I'm one of the associate directors with Morrison Healthcare Dietetic Internship. I had a long career with Morrison Healthcare. I've been with the company for 16 years now. So I started off with the company as a nutrition support dietitian, and then I got promoted to a clinical nutrition manager and a regional clinical nutrition manager. And then I did a little bit of division director overseeing clinical dietetic programs. And then later on came to be an associate director with Morrison Healthcare Dietetic Internship.
And I am Michelle Sagristano, a little bit different journey than Sunitha. I'm actually a second career dietitian. My undergrad degree was in sociology, and I spent time working in different social services, then decided I'd like to be a dietitian. So went back to school, completed my master's and internship. Came back to social services, worked as a WIC dietitian, worked in a lot of food service with early care education, Head Start. And then I joined Compass Group, which is the parent company of Morrison, which we'll talk a little bit about when we get into the presentation. And I worked with the division Chartwell's K-12 as a regional dietitian in the Northeast, and then as a national director position, and then worked with the Dietetic Internship since its inception in 2011 and came over full-time approximately 4 years ago and worked along with Sunitha as an associate director in the program.
All right, perfect. Well, I'm going to let you jump into your slides and telling us all about your program.
Thank you very much for having us once again, and welcome to Morrison Healthcare Dietetic Internship. So before going over about our Morrison Healthcare Dietetic Internship, we would like to give an overview of who we are and how we fit into Compass Group USA. So Morrison Healthcare is part of our parent company, Compass Group USA. Compass Group is made of different sectors, and we are the world's leading contract food service providers and employers. And we do over 29 billion in worldwide sales, and we also the 6th largest employer in the world. So what does Compass do? We provide food service in a lot of different areas, and that's how we are structured as different sectors. So for example, Compass Group provides food service for the US Open or Kentucky Derby, or we run the food service operations in different reputed software companies like Google and Cisco and Oracle and Microsoft. And we also run food operations at Sports Arena, Georgia Aquarium, and different facilities. So where Morrison Healthcare fits in is Compass Group also runs food service operations in hospitals, and that is run by Morrison Healthcare. And also we have another sector that runs operations in Morrison. Senior Living is an operation that runs in nursing homes and long-term care facilities. And we also provide food operations in schools, in K-12 and higher ed. So as you can see, we are a very big company with a lot of different food operations across various sectors. So to provide a little bit information about Morrison Healthcare before going into about our internship, again, like I said, we are part of Compass Group USA, and we manage over 952 hospitals and integrated healthcare systems over 43 states. So we are represented almost in every state, not exactly all 50, but almost in all of the states. And we employ over 21,000 associates. And of that, more than 1,200, it could be even 1,400 and over now, dietitians working for us. And also we provide more than 450 million meals annually to our patients and hospital employees and visitors. So now I would like to talk about our Morrison Healthcare Dietetic Internship. First, I want to talk about what is unique to our program. So with Morrison Healthcare Dietetic Internship, the students are allowed to choose their geographical location. So they're usually given two choices. That means they can work from where they reside. I mean, they can study their internship where they reside. And also another big unique part of our program is all of their rotations and all of their preceptors are pre-arranged by Morrison internship faculty. So the interns or students, whatever that we want to call them, they don't have to worry about finding their own preceptor or finding their own location site, doing their contracts, nothing. They don't have that responsibility. Morrison's faculty do set up their rotations and preceptors. And also, not only just setting up preceptors and locations, we also provide continuous online preparation in education to prepare them for these rotations. So we work on different assignments and projects with the students so that they are ready and prepared to do well during their rotations. And another big unique opportunity with us is the employment opportunities. So like I just was describing, Compass Group and Morrison Healthcare, we employ a lot of dietitians, and therefore we have a lot of employment opportunities within Morrison Healthcare and across Compass Group USA. So many of the interns, almost about 50% or a little bit over 50% of Morrison dietitians get employed by Morrison Healthcare or Compass Group. So that is a big part. So our mission is to educate and prepare dietetic interns to become competent as entry-level registered dietitians in a flexible environment that promotes skills and lifelong learning and professional growth. So our internship is accredited for 82 interns, and our program length is 1,000 supervised hours. Now, our structure includes 12 weeks of clinical rotation, 6 weeks of food management, 2 weeks of long-term care, 3 weeks of community and outpatient rotation, and 1 week of research, and 40 hours of credit for orientation. Now, although each intern is given a customized rotation schedule, all of the Morrison Healthcare interns receive similar training and similar skills and competencies across the board. And I will go over a little bit what type of activities they do during these rotations in a little bit. So like we mentioned and introduced ourselves before, Michelle and I are associate directors with the internship, and we report to Karen Smith. She's our senior director. So we are a 3-member team operating this internship. That means we divide the internship into 3 zones. So we have our own group of interns that we work with, so we can take care of them in much better way. And we also work with our own preceptors, so we provide that close relationship with the interns and with preceptors. So these are some of the activities. What you see here are some of the activities that our interns do. And I told you I'll elaborate on some of the rotations. So with our clinical rotation, the interns, of course, get hands-on practice with their preceptors. And they also progress, starting at a less complex patient area and then progress to a higher complex patient areas. And they provide education and clinical care. as needed. And also, in addition to that, they do a major case study. They work with the preceptor to identify a patient case, and they study that patient throughout their rotation, and then they present that case study to their preceptors as well as to their peers and to the internship directors. Now, they also, for food management, they have multiple projects, but one of our biggest projects is a food theme bar, where they go through the full cycle of food management operation and execute a real theme bar and actually sell the food in our retail cafes and calculate profit, break-even analysis, and everything else. So they do that full cycle with purchase and menu planning and marketing and sales and everything. So that gives them a very good hands-on experience. And they also, for community, they do 2 different parts in our community rotation. 1 week they spend independently, they create and design a virtual teaching kitchen and to an audience they identify based on the community need. So they execute that virtual kitchen all by themselves and record that. Now, the other part of the community is 2 weeks of outpatient rotation, and that could be done either within their clinical rotation site, or they could do it in an outside site. For research, they spend 1 week, and usually the research data collection happens either during their clinical rotation or during their food management rotation. But then they put everything together, they do their data analysis and do an electronic poster presentation to the internship directors during that 1 full week. Okay, so those are some of the activities that I highlighted. Now, we do have our own learning management system, and we call that competency-based education portal. And this is a one-stop area for the interns, where we provide all the resources, all their learning plans, and all of their assignments. Everything is provided here, and preceptors also access this portal to provide evaluation. So this is one system where the internship faculty, the preceptors and interns, all of us use this one portal. So it's very convenient for the interns. And I am going to now let Michelle talk about our program measurements and how to apply for this program.
Great. Thanks, Sunitha. So some of our notable outcomes in our program include that 100% of our interns have completed the program in the designated time. We have a 92% pass rate, a 99% employment rate. And when we survey employers, following the internship, employers that have hired our interns, 99% of them do rate our interns as a highly satisfactory employee. Our interns do say that they rate the knowledge and experience from their program at a 96% rate, and 96% of interns also agreed that they were very well prepared for entry-level work. So part of the Morrison Healthcare Dietetic Internship is that we do collaborate with the University of Alabama for a Master's of Science. This is an online program that you are welcome to participate in. Some of our interns do, some do not. It's not a requirement. The Master's would be in Nutrition and Food Management. And if you do match with us, then you are eligible and given priority to be accepted into the UA program. We will use the same letters of recommendation that you put into DICAS. So there's no need to redo the application process with that. Payment for the master's program is a separate entity from payment for the dietetic internship. And if you're looking for more information about how we collaborate with UA or how those programs work, we have plenty of information out there on our website. The website is listed here, rdinternship.com, and you can take a look. If you're interested in participating in the master's program, you also are able to select that as an option on our Morrison Healthcare supplemental form when you're applying to the internship. It lets us know of your interest, and then we will work with you to help coordinate that UA program with you, but it's not a requirement that you check that box in the beginning. If you're accepted into our internship and then decide you'd like to pursue the master's with UA, we are able to work with you to do that as well. Oftentimes we're asked, what are the characteristics of a good candidate? What makes your interns the most, or who's the most successful? So we have found that interns who have the ability to work in a fast-paced environment and very independently tend to fare pretty well. Flexibility is key, having skills as a self-starter, excellent verbal and written communication is a key. And being able to adapt to different personalities and different management styles is important as well. As you rotate through all the different areas, you will be with different dietitians, different managers, different leaders. And again, that flexibility and adaptability are definitely key factors there. All right, so how do you apply? So if you're interested in applying, the first step is you go and you complete your DICAS application. And when you do that, you select Morrison Healthcare Dietetic Internship in Georgia. Okay, it's Sandy Springs, Georgia. It says it right there on the website. Then the second step is for you to complete the supplemental application for the Morrison Healthcare Internship. And you go do this on the Morrison website that is shown here. And you will submit your $65 non-refundable application fee. And you have the ability, as Sunitha mentioned, to select up to 2 different locations when you apply. So you can rank them, which is your priority location and your secondary location, but you're able to apply to 2 when you pay that $165 fee. Now, the last step is then you go into D&D. And when you do this, you again select Morrison Healthcare Dietetic Internship, but you also make sure you select the location you want when you're in D&D. And then this should be the same locations that you put on the supplemental application. So where are the locations? A lot of people ask. If you're looking for where we have available locations, we have all of them listed on our website. So head there, take a peek. They were updated as of December 1st. So that is a current list. So those are the locations we have available this year. But just a couple important notes for you. We only consider you for the locations that you indicate on the application. So we're not looking at you for other locations, only the ones that you're applying to. And again, all your rotations are planned for you. We place you in the rotation locations, and they will be in the same location that you applied to when you sent in your application. So what do we look at? Of course, another big question that we always get. So you will want to know that for sure. Of course, we look at your GPA overall, your DPD GPA, and your science GPA. We do highly value work and volunteer experiences. We know not everybody just goes to school full time. We definitely take that into consideration. Honors, any extracurricular activities you may do, especially those showing leadership. So maybe you were the president of your local student A&D or some other organization within school. Definitely make sure you're listing that. We certainly read your personal statement, very important to us, and all of your letters of recommendation. And we do require that at least one of those letters does come from an academic professor. Okay, so Sunitha already spoke a little bit about employment opportunities, but again, many opportunities here for you. If you'd like to come work at Compass Group when you're done with your internship, it's likely there's something out there for you in all these different areas. Clinical dietetics, working as a nutrition care manager in the long-term care field, directors. We have plenty of RDs who are food service directors. We have many that work as health and wellness experts in our business and industry areas. And we have many RDs working in informatics. And as Sunitha did mention, we do hire a little more than half of the interns into the company. So if you're looking for more information, this is a screenshot of our current website. So if you go there, this is the home screen you're going to see. So go there, take a look, read the information we have online. If you have more information you need or questions, there is a way to contact us right there from the website. So please do. We're happy to answer any questions you may have, and especially any interest in the internship. And thank you very much. And this is a picture of our current class. We've had group photos before, but with COVID, we've done a lot of virtual orientation. And so we put our class together in a virtual format. Thank you.
All right, thank you for all of that information on the program. Love that most of it's on the website, so don't forget to look at that website if you're going to be applying to this program. I'm going to jump right into the 5 questions that I ask all of the programs that come on the podcast, and these were put together with the help of some of my students to make sure that I was asking the questions that they really wanted to know the answers to. And so my first question is, what is one thing in particular that you just really love to see when you're reading an applicant's personal statement?
We would like the personal statement to be authentic and with an impressive opening. We read hundreds of applications. So when the personal statement is made authentic with a real good opening, that's a great starter. That retains my attention and I continue reading and we read all personal statements, don't get me wrong, but it's great to have that good impressive opening and that speaks their heart out. And also we would like a personal statement that's well organized, has a logical flow, minimal grammar errors, no spelling errors. Actually I should say no grammar errors and no spelling errors. And it just makes it a joy to read that personal statement. And also one other thing I want to emphasize, we haven't seen this too much, but occasionally we have come across when students are applying to a lot of different programs, sometimes they forget to change the name of the internship. And occasionally they apply to Morrison Healthcare Internship with a totally different internship name, and that doesn't leave a very good impression. So it would be great to personalize that personal statement.
All right, question 2, got to throw a true or false question in there. True or false, an applicant's resume should be 1 page and 1 page only. Either way, why?
All right, I'm going to take this question, and I say that is false. And there's many reasons why. A length of a resume certainly varies on the number of years of experience someone may have. Especially for our program, we have a lot of applicants who are non-traditional students, may have had multiple degrees, have extensive work histories. And for us, it's more important to have the content that demonstrates your experience. If that takes more than 1 page, then by all means, we want to read it. So I know a lot of people say that a 1-page resume is key, but for us, like I said, we want to see what you've done and we want to read your experience. We like to see that resume have a good chronological flow. And we want to see that your resume is actually, very well organized. It's laid out in a way that's going to engage the reader. So if it is more than 1 page, there's no problem with continuing on in the reading.
All right, perfect. My next question is my favorite question to ask program directors. And so what is one or maybe more things that a potential applicant might do that might raise some red flags where you might think maybe this isn't the best fit for our program?
We love to answer this question. So I'll start out and see that I will bounce a few things back and forth. But one thing that we don't like to see is an incomplete application. And we know that it seems like the application is repetitive, right? You have your transcript, but you need to enter your grades, right? We're asking you about leadership, but you may have it somewhere down there in your resume. But as a reviewer, I personally find it frustrating that if I have to wait to get all the way to the end of the application where your resume is to find out that you had some type of leadership role or the type of work experience you had, I've already thought you didn't have any, so, and it also is, I think, a demonstration of your skills, and how you feel. I mean, if you, I don't need to fill that out, like I said, it's just nice for us to see a full, complete application, even if you feel like you are getting that repetitiveness in there.
I mean, I can add to that, and I totally agree with Michelle. A complete application is so much easier on us. Like I said, we go through hundreds of applications. We are a big program, so we do get hundreds of applications. And if our job is made easier, that is really, really good for us if they give us a complete set of application. And another thing other than application is references. We place a lot of importance on references, like every other program does. And so we hope that the students reach out to their academic professors or work employees or work colleagues, someone who can speak to their professional leadership skills. So at times recently, I have seen references coming from family friends or some religious authority and so on and so forth. While they are good, they are not able to fully attest and fully speak to the professional skills of a student. So we would like to see both represented, professional skill sets and personal skill sets. So getting references from academic professors and getting references from their employers, current employers, recent past employers will be the best to provide. And also I would add another one, being late or tardy with applications or late for interviews or late sending in your application, late sending in your video interviews doesn't leave that much of a great impression. So by all means, I would totally avoid that. It would be good to be ahead of time. Even on time sometimes is late to me. Being ahead of time and having that complete application gives a very good impression to any internship program directors.
And let me add in a little bit about that recorded interview that Sunitha spoke about. So we do invite all our prospective applicants to provide us with a recorded video. We supply those questions up front. So you're handed those questions, you have time to prepare. There's nothing worse than watching a video where somebody is literally just reading the questions for the first time. We are giving you that opportunity to take the time to figure out what you want to say, what you'd like to tell us. We don't like a lot of just fluff. Like, we want substance in those answers. So if you're somebody that is going to send us a video, think about that while you're answering the questions. A couple other things. In the personal statement, Sunitha did answer a lot about what we look for in that. Really make sure that you're giving us all the information you can. Somebody writes 4 or 5 sentences, a half page. It's not usually enough to convey to us, your interest and why you're going into the field of dietetics. We really want to know what's important to you and why you want to be here. We like to learn more about you when we're reading that statement. And then something else that does come up from time to time, we may have applicants that have a felony record. I know in the first questions of the application, you check those off. We've had people who haven't answered those questions honestly in the beginning, but a lot of our facilities and in healthcare, or if we're sending you to a school building, we're not able to send you into those sites. So if that's something that is of a concern to you or affects you, you might want to reach out to us directly to ask us how that would maybe affect the geographical location that you're looking to apply to.
All right, moving on to question 4. What is one aspect of the program that you're actively working on trying to make even better for the interns?
So, both of us can touch on this, but I would like to say for us, our program, like I mentioned, is a unique program. There are a lot of internships out there that require interns to find their own location, find their own preceptors, get the contract going and all sorts of things. But we provide all that, so it's easier and convenient for our students. And we don't want that legwork. We just want them to come participate in our program and learn well and absorb everything that they can and get that hands-on information well and pass the RD exam. That gives us the greatest joy. So and see for them to become our colleagues in a short year later gives us really a great joy to work along with them. So, Michelle, if you want to add something to it.
Sure. I know many of our preceptors are former interns, especially since we've been in existence in this program for, a little over 10 years. So it's always fun to have this come full circle. And our interns really like being placed at locations where there are previous interns. There's a lot for them to share, a lot in common. So very beneficial. And again, as we said, that a lot of our interns do come to work. It's nice. It's like a family. So we really appreciate that.
All right, perfect. Well, my fifth question is a two-part question. And the first part is, what would be the 3 best adjectives, and these can be descriptors or phrases, whatever you need to use, to describe the program overall?
Okay, so the first one I would say is opportunity. And I would say opportunity, both for the reason that you can choose your location, you can remain close to home or close to family, be able to, continue with your life, not uproot yourself for the internship, but also that opportunity for employment. So, you've done all this hard work, you've spent all this time in school, you're spending all this time in your internship. Your goal is to get out and get a job, and it's something that we have here for you. The second descriptor is diverse or diversity. We have a very diverse population amongst our dietetic interns. If you wanted to learn more about that, we're happy to speak to you about that. But it's very important to us that we have that. It's important to us to hire diverse employees into the company. So we highly value that aspect of any of our interns. And then my last descriptor for the program would be nurturing. So nurturing academically, we do try to help continue your education. You learned a lot in school, but you learned a lot of information a lot of times, and now you need to apply it. So we really try to take the time to do some further education with you and try to really teach you how to do that application piece. It is something that we do find that interns often, struggle with, right? You have all this knowledge, you can sit down and take a test, but when you get in the room and have to speak to a patient, it is not the same thing. So, but personally, throughout the internship, you do have a lot of one-on-one contact with whether it's Sunitha or Karen or myself. If you have something going on, we're happy to talk to you about it. We're happy to work with you to figure out how to get the internship done. A lot of things happen over the course of a year. We understand that. We don't have control, but we can certainly work with you. And our goal is to, make you a registered dietitian at the end of the day.
And then I can quickly add one bit for that nurturing thing. It's not only our relationship and communication doesn't get cut off as soon as they become a registered dietitian. It goes beyond that. In fact, like Michelle said, we become a family, whether they work for Compass and Morrison or outside. We are still in touch with a lot of them, and we continue to mentor them. We continue to provide references for them. So yeah, we have a long-lasting relationship with all of our interns.
All right. Well, the second part of that question, very similar, the 3 best adjectives, descriptors, or phrases to describe your ideal applicant.
All right, I'll go ahead and take that one. So my first descriptor for our applicants are leaders. We certainly look for people that have that leadership quality, especially, we call ourselves a distance program, even though you are physically on site. But you're out there, mostly we have 1 intern per location. You're out there, you're, representing yourself. You need to be able to walk in, understand how to take a little bit of responsibility for your rotation, not just to show up and think somebody else is going to do that for you. So definitely in terms of our interns, we definitely look for that quality leader in them, and as we go on to hire interns. The second kind of follows along with what I was just saying. Is independent. You will have a lot of support in the internship, and there are many teachers here for you, but you need to know, how do I go try to find an answer? How do I know how to speak to my preceptors, speak to the patients, speak to family members, but being a little bit independent, not looking for somebody else to guide you every step along the way is very important to us as well. And adaptable, as we had mentioned several times, we send you out all over the place. You will work with many different personalities. And this doesn't just apply to the internship. This applies to your entire life. And that little bit of a quality to roll with it is very, very important. You are not going to show up every day and have your checklist 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's how the day's going to roll. It's never going to be like that. You're going to get there, you think you know what you're going to do, and all of a sudden you're, sent off in another direction. And especially in these days of COVID, that adaptability piece has become absolutely key. I'm not sure, Sunitha, if you have anything else you want to add to those.
No, that those were perfect. And I would just add one more thing. They need to be self-starters. And like Michelle said, we have excellent support system with preceptors, and we have usually multiple preceptors in one location. However, they have to take that initiative, and they have to be self-starters to reach out to the preceptors and be part of the team. That's really what we are looking for. A Morrison intern, because usually we consider our preceptors as potential employers. So when the interns show that they want to be part of their team, usually they get hired like that. By the end of their internship, they already have a job offer waiting for them.
All right, perfect. That was all the questions that I had. So I would love to close out this episode with a quick take-home message from each of you to potential applicants.
If you're looking for an internship where you really want that hands-on experience, you're done with school, it's time to learn how to be an RD, how to practice, you want to hit the ground running when you're done, then I think this is a very good internship for you to look into.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And really, if they come on to our program, it's like a relationship that lasts a lifetime. I'm still in touch with interns that from 10 years ago. So really, they want to look for an internship that provides not only the hands-on experience, but also simultaneously, we are providing the education piece of it, the theoretical reinforcement, the knowledge that we're reinforcing along with it. So they get a well-rounded internship and employment opportunities. Who can beat that?
Thank you so much, Michelle and Sunitha, for being with me on this episode. And for those at home who would like some more information on the Morrison Healthcare Dietetic Internship Program and all of the locations that are available to you, I've included that website link in the description below this video. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe so you'll never miss the last few program spotlight sessions that we'll have between now and February 15th. And stay tuned for more episodes from Going All In about any alternative topics that I might happen to come up with that we might be able to put an episode together for. So if you have ideas, put some in the comments, send me an email, drop a DM in the Instagram, and we'll try to put an episode together. So nice having you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.